Imagine a vibrant town, a bustling hub of activity, then suddenly, inexplicably gone, not slowly eroded by the relentless march of centuries, not consumed by the earth, but vanished overnight, leaving behind only silence and unanswered questions. This isn't the stuff of campfire tales or fantastical fiction. It's the haunting, real-life mystery of America's lost colony, Roanoke. A puzzle that has defied solution for generations. In 1587, fueled by dreams of prosperity and a new beginning, over 100 English settlers bravely landed on the shores of Roanoke Island, off the coast of North Carolina, determined to carve out a new world, a new life, from the untamed wilderness. Among them was Virginia Dare, a symbol of hope and the future, the first English child born in the newly discovered Americas, a testament to their enduring spirit. But when a supply ship, long delayed by war and circumstance, finally returned 3 years later, the colony had vanished without a trace. Houses eerily empty, people inexplicably gone, swallowed by the mists of time. All that remained to tell the tale was a single, cryptic word carved with purpose into a weathered post, CROATOAN, a clue, a warning, or a message lost to the ages. For over 4 centuries, spanning countless seasons and generations, this perplexing disappearance has baffled historians, captivated archaeologists, and fueled endless speculation. How could an entire community of 115 souls vanish so completely, leaving behind so little evidence? Were they brutally attacked by hostile forces? Did they succumb to the ravages of starvation and disease, or did they choose to abandon their settlement, seeking refuge elsewhere? The tangible evidence is frustratingly scarce, the clues tantalizingly incomplete, like fragments of a shattered mirror reflecting a forgotten past. Today we'll embark on a journey back to the very edge of the known world, to the place where colonial ambition met a silent, baffling, and ultimately tragic end. We'll meticulously examine the remaining clues, the strange and unsettling carvings, the mysterious and often contradictory artifacts, and the myriad of theories that have kept the flame of this enduring mystery alive for centuries. Was it a peaceful migration to a new home, a gradual assimilation into a different culture, or was it something far darker and more sinister? Disease, violent conflict, or a hidden conspiracy that has yet to be uncovered? Roanoke isn't just a dusty chapter in a history book. It's a cold case, an unsolved investigation that continues to challenge us. The clues, however fragmented and faded, are still out there, scattered across the landscape and buried within the archives, patiently waiting to be pieced together, to reveal the truth behind this enduring enigma. Can we, armed with modern tools and a fresh perspective, finally solve this 400-year-old disappearance? Let's delve into the mystery and find out together. The story of Roanoke begins with the grand ambition of Sir Walter Raleigh, a prominent figure in Elizabethan England. He envisioned a thriving English presence in the New World, a foothold that would bring wealth and power back to the crown. But Raleigh's dream was also deeply intertwined with England's fierce rivalry with Spain, the dominant global power at the time. The seas were battlegrounds, and the New World was the ultimate prize. Raleigh's first attempt to establish a colony in 1585 was a hastily planned venture, driven more by military strategy than long-term settlement goals. It was conceived primarily as a military outpost, ill-prepared for the challenges of colonial life and lacking the resources needed for survival. The initial settlement quickly failed after escalating conflict with local Native American tribes, who viewed the English with suspicion and resentment. Compounding their problems, the colonists faced a brutal winter, which decimated their already meager supplies and tested their endurance to the breaking point. Undeterred by this initial setback, Raleigh, ever the optimist, tried again in 1587, learning from the mistakes of the past. This time, the approach was different. He focused on sending families, including women and children, with the explicit goal of building a permanent self-sustaining colony, a true English settlement in the New World. To lead this ambitious endeavor, Raleigh appointed John White, a respected artist and seasoned veteran of previous voyages to the Americas. White was not only a skilled cartographer and illustrator, but also a capable leader entrusted with the lives and futures of the colonists. Their intended destination, carefully chosen for its strategic location and resources, was Chesapeake Bay, further north along the Virginia coast. However, fate intervened in the form of their pilot, Simon Fernandez, a man whose motives remain shrouded in mystery to this day. Against the wishes of the colonists, Fernandez, for reasons unknown, forced them ashore at Roanoke Island. the site of the failed first attempt. The colonists found themselves landing in a place already marked by failure, and haunted by the ghosts of past mistakes. The island was also fraught with existing tension and simmering conflict with the surrounding native tribes, making their task even more daunting. Despite the ominous circumstances, the colonists, with a spirit of resilience, set about repairing the old, dilapidated fort. They worked tirelessly to rebuild their homes and cultivate the land, determined to make the best of their unexpected situation. These brave men and women were determined to succeed against all odds, driven by the hope of a new life and a better future for their families. Little did they know, they were about to become unwilling participants in what would become known as America's greatest and most enduring historical mystery, a puzzle that continues to baffle historians and capture the imagination of the world. The colony was envisioned as a new beginning, a fresh start in a land of opportunity, but from the very start, fate, it seemed, had other, far more sinister plans in store for them. A chilling tale of survival against impossible odds, where the line between hope and despair blurred with each passing day, and the ultimate price was nothing less than death. Life in Roanoke was a fragile mix of hope and hardship. John White documented their struggles and triumphs, including the birth of his granddaughter, Virginia Dare. But the colonists arrived too late to plant enough food, and supplies dwindled fast. Tensions with local tribes simmered, and violence soon followed. When a colonist was killed, fear gripped the settlement. Desperate, the colonists asked White to return to England for help. He reluctantly agreed, leaving behind his family and 115 colonists. White promised to return quickly, but fate intervened. He set sail in August 1587, expecting to be back by spring. He could not have known he'd be gone for 3 years. His departure marked the last time anyone would see the Roanoke colonists alive. White's choice, made out of duty, became the colony's final turning point. The community he left behind would soon vanish into legend. The silence that followed was absolute, and the questions would echo for centuries. John White's return to England, already fraught with the weight of responsibility for the Roanoke colony, was further delayed by the escalating war with Spain. The conflict consumed England's resources and attention. Every ship, every sailor, every resource was desperately needed for the defense of the realm against the Spanish Armada. The small colony at Roanoke, though important, paled in comparison to the immediate threat facing England itself. He finally managed to secure passage back to Roanoke in 1590, a long 3 years after he had left, arriving on his granddaughter Virginia Dare's 3rd birthday. The delay had been agonizing, filled with worry and uncertainty about the fate of his family and the colonists. But what greeted him was not the bustling colony he remembered, but an eerily silent settlement, a ghost town, seemingly untouched by time, yet devoid of all human presence. There were no people to be found, no familiar faces, no sounds of daily life, only empty houses standing as silent witnesses. There was no smoke rising from the chimneys, no sign of recent habitation. The hearths were cold, the fires long extinguished. There were no signs of life, no animals, no crops, just the relentless advance of nature reclaiming what was once a thriving community. The houses were carefully dismantled, not destroyed in haste or panic, suggesting a deliberate and organized departure. A defensive palisade still stood, a testament to their preparedness, but there were no signs of battle, no evidence of conflict, and no freshly dug graves. Furthermore, they would carve a cross symbol if their departure was forced, indicating they were in distress or danger. But there was no cross to be found, offering a glimmer of hope that their move was planned and peaceful. The absence of a distress signal suggested a voluntary move, perhaps to CROATOAN Island, a place of potential refuge. CROATOAN Island was home to their native allies, the CROATOAN tribe, with whom they had established a relationship of trade and mutual respect. Further reinforcing this theory, another carving, simply CRO, was found etched into a nearby tree closer to the shore. The mystery, though still unsettling, seemed to be solved. The colonists had likely relocated to CROATOAN Island, seeking shelter and assistance from their Native American neighbors. All that John White had to do was sail the short distance to CROATOAN Island and reunite with his family and the colonists. But fate, it seemed, had other plans, cruelly intervening once again to thwart his hopes. A violent and unexpected storm prevented the search party from venturing towards CROATOAN, making navigation impossible and dangerous. With dwindling supplies and a battered ship, White was forced to make the heartbreaking decision to return to England, leaving the fate of Roanoke unresolved. He would never see his family, his granddaughter, or the colonists again, forever haunted by the unanswered questions of Roanoke. The ghost town of Roanoke was left with only lingering questions, a haunting silence, and a single enigmatic word etched in wood: CROATOAN. CROATOAN, one word, endless questions. For White, it was hope. Maybe the colonists had found safety with their native allies, but a hurricane stopped the search and White was forced to leave, the clue uninvestigated. He died, never knowing his family's fate. CROATOAN became the central enigma of the Lost Colony. Did the colonists simply move and assimilate? If so, why is there no proof? Why didn't they try to make contact later? The word, once a solution, became a symbol of ultimate mystery. It's a breadcrumb trail that leads nowhere. Was the answer really that simple? Or is there a darker meaning we've yet to uncover? The leading theory is assimilation. The colonists joined the CROATOAN tribe to survive. Later reports describe Native Americans with gray eyes and English customs. The Lumbee tribe claims descent from the colonists, and some family names match. But archaeological and DNA evidence remains inconclusive. If 115 people joined a tribe, why is there so little trace? Some suggest the CROATOAN carving was a deception, or that the colonists were attacked and wiped out. The dismantled fort could signal a systematic destruction. The history of violence between settlers and tribes makes this plausible. Did the colonists blend in or were they annihilated, their final message a cover-up? The truth remains elusive. Roanoke's fate is still up for debate. Other theories linger, like the shadow of Spain. The Spanish had motive and history of destroying rival colonies. Some believe a secret Spanish raid wiped out Roanoke, but no records have been found. Another theory: the colonists simply starved or died of disease. Drought and poor timing made survival nearly impossible. But if they starved, why dismantle the settlement and carve CROATOAN? Perhaps a small group tried to reach CROATOAN Island only to perish on the way. Each theory has holes. No bodies, no clear evidence, only speculation. Roanoke's end could have been a mix of all these fates. The mystery endures because the evidence refuses to give us closure. For centuries, Roanoke's fate has haunted our imagination. We have a deserted settlement, a single word, and a handful of theories. Archaeologists still search for answers using the latest technology. New clues spark hope, but the truth remains hidden. Roanoke is a testament to courage, and to the unknown. The silence left behind invites us to speculate. So, what do you think happened? Assimilation, annihilation, or something else? The Lost Colony remains America's greatest unsolved mystery, forever asking how can a whole colony just disappear?